Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the fastest cars in Far Cry 5. Today's video is going to be over the recreational vehicles class. We got some interesting stuff happening. Today we're going to see both the slowest and the fastest times we've seen to date. But first, before we get into that, once again I'd like you guys to remember, here's the course that all this testing is done on. And if you'd like to know how this testing is done in detail, you can click this video here. Or, if you've missed the previous videos and you'd like to see them, you can click here to go to the playlist. So, the recreational vehicles class, it's an interesting one. This is the first class we've seen that has suspension that can perform around corners. In the automobiles class, all we saw was cars that were passenger cars which were underpowered even if they could perform around corners, or a lot of muscle cars. We did see a few imports that didn't really seem to take full potential of their import status and weren't as good as expected. But we're going to see some really good times because of good handling out of this class. Even though it is a more off-road oriented class than it is a performance oriented class, it is going to help it. Let's go ahead and get into the first vehicle. Our last place vehicle here is the Funai E7. It's the ATV that's everywhere, and it's slow as expected. It's an ATV. Well, I don't know why anybody would expect this to go fast. It's made for going down small dirt paths, and it was painfully slow, coming in at a time of 3 minutes 33.92 seconds. This is the slowest time we've seen to date, and honestly, I don't think anything in the game is slower than this. Won't know till we test it all, but I don't really think anything's slower. What it does have going for it, though, is the fact that it's the shortest wheelbase vehicle in the game, meaning you can get it a lot more places than other vehicles, and it turns sharper than any other vehicle in the game, which actually kind of took some getting used to how fast and sharp it turns. But otherwise, it's really underpowered, and usually, if you have the choice, I wouldn't pick an ATV. Coming in here at the third place spot is the 2018 Polaris RZR. It comes in at a time of 2 minutes 57.08 seconds. It performed really well. It's in the 2 minutes 57 range, the same as the Kimberlite Devil, which was our first place car in the automobiles class. It would have done better if it weren't for touchy steering that really made it kind of hard to control around certain corners, and you had to take corners kind of slow so that you wouldn't end up crashing through them. So that's really what detracted from this, was just really touchy steering. It wasn't the fastest thing, but it actually held its own in top speed. It was pretty fast. Next up, with the fastest time we've seen so far, but it's going to be quickly beaten out here, is the Bailout Buggy with a time of 2 minutes 55.95 seconds. The Bailout Buggy is really powerful and handles pretty decently. In the last video I talked about how the Devil just really had good power, and that's what allowed it to just overcome everything in the automobiles class and take the first place spot. Didn't handle extremely well, but it was just extremely powerful. The Bailout Buggy kind of shows us what happens when we put a little bit better handling onto that powerful motor. While I don't think the Bailout Buggy is quite as powerful or quite as fast in a straight line as the Devil, it is very powerful and up there on that list. And those two things combined is what brought it to its place on this list. The Bailout Buggy really was able to take advantage of both of those things to bring it to its position here. And finally, taking first place was a little bit of a surprise to me, to be honest, is the 2018 Polaris RZR XP Edition. That's the blue and green RZR in the store. It is like the RZR, but better in every single aspect. It outperforms the RZR in every single place, and of course that cuts 5 seconds off the standard RZR's time. Doesn't have the touchy steering of the standard RZR, and it's much faster. Now I know a lot of people are probably wondering, why is a UTV, a buggy, beating muscle cars. And when we really think about that, it's not that surprising for the fact that they are extremely lightweight, pretty nimble on their feet, and these actually have turbocharged motors. They make good power. That's the real life versions, and in the game too. They make good power, and it just kind of have all the things they need to perform well. They're an unexpected up-and-comer that didn't see coming, but here it is with a 2-minute 53-second time. It's the fastest thing we've seen to date. And as we go on through these videos, I think it could get beat by a surprising one, but honestly, there's a good chance, right now at least, that the XP edition will stay the winner for the fastest car in Far Cry 5. But there's only one way to find out. We'll keep testing, and we'll find out here in just a few weeks. So this one's going to be short and sweet. That's going to be it for the recreational vehicles class. Only 4 vehicles. A lot of surprises in this class, but that's what you would get, and that's why we test this, so we know for a fact and not guesses. Once again, I really appreciate everybody for watching. If you could drop a like on the video, it would really mean a lot to me, and it'd really help out a lot. And also, if you don't want to miss any more of these videos, or just like Far Cry 5 content in general, I'd really appreciate it if you could go ahead and subscribe. And with that, I think I'm going to leave you. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.